What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So today's video, we're back working on the mini drift quad, and today we're actually gonna start the process of tearing this thing all back down and painting everything up, cleaning a bunch of stuff up, and just making this thing look nice and make her look the par, at least what she is, because I think this thing is a pretty sweet machine and it's been a blast to ride. So we gotta get her painted up, we gotta make her look pretty, and especially since how rusty this thing is, we definitely gotta get that cleaned up before we have any problems in the future. So today I really want to start off by just getting the engine ripped off of here and then painting some stuff up on the engine, like the side cover, the pull start, and then actually just like cleaning up the engine itself, because you can tell this thing is filthy compared to like the front here. So I definitely want to get this thing cleaned up, especially since it's like the centerpiece of the whole frame here. So that's kind of the goal of today, and then in the meantime it'll kind of give me a little bit more time to work on the frame itself, because it's going to take a little bit more time to actually tear all the control arms off of this thing, tear the swing arm off of it, and strip this whole thing down, get it painted up, cleaned up, all that. So it's going to take me a little bit more time, so I wanted to at least get the motor cleaned up, and then in the meantime I can work on the frame, and that'll be kind of more for next week's video on Friday. My goal is to have this thing completely finished up, painted, and ready to rip by Memorial Day weekend, because I got a family event I want to take all the toys to. I want to bring the new ATV, and then I want to bring both the mini bikes here. That's why we fixed up the black mini bike in last video, so if you haven't seen that, I suggest you go check it out. But other than that, enough jibber jabber, let's get to work on this thing. I think I'm going to start ripping off just the majority of the small stuff, like the exhaust, get the intake pulled off of there. We're definitely going to get the intake all cleaned up, get rid of this blue pipe there, at least cover that up or paint it. I might paint the adapter here, I'm not really too sure, just because I kind of like the black. I might slap on a new carb just to give me a little bit more opportunity to tune this thing up, just because it doesn't really like half throttle kind of driving around a little bit. It kind of stutters a bit, so want to clean that up a little bit, make sure this thing's tuned up correctly, and then get a new side cover put on here, just because this thing has definitely seen some better days, and I think I've owned this side cover for a few years now. So luckily I got that motor over there that's got pretty much just used for parts right now, so it's got a nice black cover I can pull off of there and get that all painted up to actually match the frame. So I'm not really too sure on colors I'm going to go for the motor yet. I think I just want to get the motor cleaned up and then kind of go from there to see what color side covers I want to do. But tonight I want to get this thing pulled off of there, get it tore down, and then start prepping a lot of the pieces to actually get painted, so then tomorrow we can start laying some paint on it. And then it's currently Tuesday, so Thursday we can actually get the motor all put back together, get her ready, and have her sitting on the side ready to get the frame all put back together and looking pretty. So let's get to work tearing the engine off real quick, and I'll probably set you guys up on a time lapse real quick and just watch the process. So we just got the engine all pulled off of this thing. Pretty straightforward for the most part. Just a couple motor mount bolts, intake, exhaust, gas line, and throttle cable. So nothing really too much to go on this thing. Don't really want to do too much tearing it down tonight, at least. I want to at least just get the side cover off. I want to leave the carb and just like a rag in the exhaust for now, since tomorrow I want to get this thing all cleaned up, just because this thing is pretty caked up with some dirt and stuff. So get some brake clean that all up. But for right now, I'll probably just pull the side cover off, get the button pulled off of there, get this thing pretty much stripped down as far as I want to go, and then pull off the side cover off the motor under the desk here that I got spare. It's pretty much these parts. Pull the black cover off of there, start sanding that down, getting it pretty much prepped for paint tomorrow, and then we can start laying some paint on it. And then hopefully tomorrow we can actually start installing some of the goodies, like a fresh carb, new spark plug, and then I would like to pick up a puller for the clutch, pull this old clutch on, because this thing is like pretty much welded to the shaft. So I want to get that pulled off and swap to a 40 series chain, since that's a 35 chain. I want to get a 40 series chain that had matching chains from the engine to the jack shaft, and then jack shaft to the rear, since the rear has a 40 chain going to it. So kind of match the chains, just make it a little bit easier. So right now, just get work on stripping this thing down, getting the side cover pulled off, and then start sanding down that one, and then we'll see how far we can get done tonight, and then tomorrow start laying some paint on this thing. What's up guys? So it's the next day now. Last night I ended up just tearing apart both engines real quick, nothing too crazy. So I pulled the side cover off our main engine here, just got that pulled off, and then I got the little heat shield that kind of wraps off around the bottom because I decided I want to paint that up as well. And then I ended up pulling the side cover off the little parts engine over there, got it all sanded up and pretty much ready for paint at this point. Even did the side little pull start too, so that's all good. I ended up just going with just gloss black just because I kind of want to keep the engine not really standing out in your face. I want the frame to really stand out a bunch, so I'm kind of planning on painting it a bright color and kind of just have a bunch of little silver and black accents going around the whole bike. So that's kind of the plan. So I want to paint both of these gloss black, and then I think I'm going to do wrinkle black for this heat shield here since it's going to be pretty close to the block. I don't want any of the paint melting or any of that. But I did notice when I took that side cover off that this engine over here is actually a Honda GX200, which is pretty sweet. I ended up just getting it as a parts engine with the mini ATV when I first built it. So if you guys want to see me try to see if we can get this thing running again, this thing is seized the hell up. Like, it does not spin at all, has no carb, exhaust, everything's pretty much been open for a while. So it'd be kind of cool if we can maybe tear that thing down and get it running again, because then we could use it for another project. But that's just kind of something. If you guys want to see it, let me know. I can always film that, but I might just knock that out on the side. But for right now, I'm gonna start laying some paint on the covers here because it's starting to get dark and it might be chance of rain, so I want to get some paint laid on those so then we can at least install those tomorrow, and then maybe start working on a few little things on the engine. I know I need to do a valve cover gasket because this thing's starting to leak a little bit. Swap the carb, I have a new spark plug for it. I did forget to pick up some brake clean today, so tomorrow I'll pick up some brake clean and we can actually brake clean the block itself, get all the dirt off here, but at least we'll have a couple fresh new parts on it today. So let's get to work on it and see what we get knocked out today. It's been a few hours now. I've been just sitting here fighting the rain really, and then it got dark now, but finally got both the side cover and the pull start all painted up, and I even painted up the little heat shield in a wrinkle black, so everything's looking good there. So now we can just kind of let that sit there and dry for right now. So now we can actually start working on the motor itself. So got a nice new spark plug here, a couple little gaskets just to get this thing all prettied up and sealed up completely. I do plan on swapping the carb, so I do plan on doing like a stock style carb, kind of the same kind of setup, but you might be able to notice that this one does not have a screw right in this section here, but this one over here does. So what that little screw does, it kind of lets you adjust the air to fuel ratio a little bit better, kind of makes it a little bit easier to tune instead of just slapping a jet in it and kind of hoping for the best. So plan on swapping that carb off that motor onto this one, just so I have a little bit easier kind of tune it up a little bit, and then why not swap some new gaskets on it just because I'm already in there. And then I'll probably end up swapping the valve cover gasket. That's this big gasket here just because I noticed it's starting to seep just a little bit, so why not get it swapped up while I'm here. And then got a brand new spark plug swap in there. So other than that, that's pretty much all we can do tonight until we get some brake clean tomorrow to get this thing all cleaned up. So let's get this all knocked out, and then hopefully tomorrow we should be able to put this thing all back together and get it all looking pretty. What's up guys? So it's the next day again. Last night I ended up just installing all the new or newer parts onto the engine and pretty much got her all wrapped up and just pretty much got to clean her up at this point. So got the new spark plug installed, ended up doing the new valve cover gasket, and then did new gaskets on the carburetor there while installing the new carb. So this one's got the air fuel ratio screw right on the side there, so we can actually tune this thing up a little bit better. Picked up some brake clean today, got a nice little scrub brush there, so now we can spread this thing down, clean up all this dirt, shine her up a little bit, and get her ready for all the new painted parts that we painted up yesterday. So they're all nice and dry now. Not too bad, it came out pretty dang good. There's still little sanding marks you can kind of see here and there, but I'm pretty happy with it. They came out a lot better than I expected. And then we got the nice wrinkle black heat shield ready to slap on there as well. And I forgot, I also taped up the little intake snorkel kit, just wrapped it up in some Testa tape, something super easy just to hide all that blue that's, you can kind of see it on the inside there, but nothing too bad. It looks pretty good, so I'm pretty happy with that. So hopefully we can get this all cleaned up, start installing all those parts, and at the end of this video have a nice clean motor ready to get dropped back into the mini ATV here once this thing gets all painted up and prettied up to actually match up the motor as well. So let's get to work on this, see what we get knocked out today, because it is Thursday and this video's got to go out tomorrow. I still gotta finish this all, edit it, and post it for you guys. So let's get to work. Let's see what we get knocked out. I just wanted to show you guys this before I start slapping on all the side covers and the pull start and stuff like that. But just spraying this thing down with some brake clean and scrubbing it with the brush, this thing came out amazing. I really wish I did a before and after on this thing, because this thing came out spotless, literally like everywhere. So now that this thing's all nice and clean now, finally start installing all those fresh goodies. I think I'm just gonna slap them on there real quick and then catch up with you guys once they're all installed, so you guys ain't watching me tear this thing down and then put it all back together, because it's 5 bolts, who cares. So let's knock this thing out real quick and finally see the finished product of this thing all cleaned up and ready to roll. So I ended up slapping the new covers on the engine and getting everything all put together. I even installed the intake and exhaust, and everything looks good, but there was one thing standing out, and it was the governor arm. So I ended up pulling it off real quick and spraying it a nice matte black just to kind of tie it all together, and she looks perfect. I couldn't be any happier. So this is how she's looking right now. So we got a nice gloss black cover with the matte black governor arm, got the ABS plastic intake with the black kind of pipe with the black air filter, and then we even got the wrinkle black heat shield here on the bottom. So pretty happy with how all the blacks kind of tying all together. I might even paint up the exhaust too, just to kind of get rid of that silver and make it all black, so it'll really bring it all together completely. But I am stoked with how this thing came out. It's pretty much the nicest engine I got in this shop right now, so couldn't be any happier. I know it was just pretty simple, but it's just perfect, and took a little bit of time just to sand everything down and get it all cleaned up, but it's just that little bit of time that it takes just to get everything looking nice and be way more happy with it. So once we get the ATV all tore down and painted up, she can get slapped back on there and everything will be looking perfect on this thing, all painted up and looking pretty. So that should be coming up in, I'm gonna say, next Friday's video. So I have the next week, maybe a week and a half, to actually tear this thing down, sand it all up, cut up all the brackets that I don't need, and just get it all painted up and start getting it all put back together. So my goal is by next Friday is to have it painted and all back together and running and driving again. So we'll see what we can get done, but hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Just painting up the motor for the mini ATV. I can't wait to see this thing all finished up, because it is just getting there. It's so close. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, hope you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more content, and peace out.